Yeah. All right. So there I was, 2008, watching Obama thinking he gonna change everything. Yeah, man, I was thinking Obama, man, that guy's gonna fix it, man. Damn. Man, remember that? They was talking like, man, wow, post-racial. Remember that concept? People were saying that for a while. Post-racial America. America was one way. Then we elected Obama, and then America was another way. Wasn't that something? That was amazing, wasn't it? Wow. What's the issue, Buck? What's the issue, Buck? Damn. Why am I reading this? Why am I paying attention, Tim? Yeah, man, I was out here thinking we finally made it. We finally made it. First black president, post-racial America. Yeah. We were sold that. And we had the whole barbershop just, oh, Obama, Obama. Obama, Obama. I remember people were saying that. They were saying that when it didn't matter. Like, you know, they couldn't even say his name. They didn't even know his name, but they were still saying it. They were trying to say it. Yeah, aunties crying, uncles who never voted were standing in line for hours to vote for this man. But see, that's when I started learning the game. I mean, I ain't learned it right away, but it was a couple years before it really set in, you know what I'm saying? You know, I learned I was dumb. I learned that I did not know the tricks of the trade. I learned that this politics thing was as bad as my dad had said it was, and that it wasn't built for working people. I saw how quick they forgot all about the hope and change when black people started asking for shit. I saw how quick they switched up on us. Y'all remember that? Damn. I was like whiplash, wasn't it? Fast forward to right now. 2024, 2025, moving into 2025, and now we see everything. It's like them babies that had the hearing aids put in that they can finally hear for the first time. That's how some people are. Damn, it was 17 years ago. Yeah, 2008 to 2025 is a long time, Johnson. A lot has changed. We know the playbook. We know their strategy. I mean, a lot of us didn't pay attention to politics. We were working class people, working to take care of our families. That's why. People are like, oh, well, you know, he was a Democrat. Not in 2008. I mean, 15 years ago, I didn't care about politics. I cared about putting food on the table, taking care of my wife. And see, that's the thing. That's how they hooked us in. And that's why they did it. They needed to get the black vote. And to get the black vote, they were running out of time using the same old bullshit. They had to use a black-looking face, even though he was half white. half white, raised by a white family in a white household by white grandparents with his white mother, and so is his African dad like 10 times some shit. Didn't matter, because he married a black woman. Yeah. So they run the same plays over and over again. And now they're talking about the LGBT, talking about the gay president and the Latino president and woman president, and it's all identity politics. They're not talking about what they're going to do for us. But the point now is that we see it. More of us see it now. Of course, there are going to be people that don't see it. They don't see it now. Because they're where we were, or they're where I was. Where I'm going to speak for myself, because I got a lot of people that they knew everything, always knew everything. They came out there about this room knowing. My house was apolitical. Nobody in my house talked about politics unless they were talking about forget politics. Unless they were saying, my parents never voted. That's where I come from. I don't know. Some people, they feel under need to tell everybody how political they were. They campaigned for Ronald Reagan. They campaigned for Jimmy Carter. Congratulations for paying attention to bullshit. But see now, man, I think more and more people, because of social media, as bad as it is, as bad as social media is, more and more of us are paying attention because of social media, puts it accessible on this device that you have with you. And you can see that shit. You can see it. They getting sloppy. They getting sloppy, Johnson. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, fam. It's right in our face. We used to be too distracted. Now we not. Because they're so greedy. They could keep us distracted, but they're so greedy. They got to make money off of us paying attention. So when we pay attention, we figure this shit out. Some of us is too beaten down to notice, but when you put it on the app, everybody's got the apps, everybody's got the news cycle now. They got sloppy. We know the game. We can see when somebody's playing the game. We can see when someone's lying. We can see when they're being phony, which is all the time. And that's why the title of tonight's show is We See the Game and They're Getting Sloppy. Because they are getting sloppy. Speaking of sloppy, let's talk about Roland Martin. Speaking of sloppy. See, back in 2008 when we all caught the Obama fever, well, not you, the whites. Whites had a president. They always had a white president. I don't even know how we even had a conversation. I don't even know. But black people never had a president that looked like them, ever, in the history of America. Fought every war in this country. We never had anybody even closely resembled us at all. So I think we're entitled to one. We fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like once, y'all had all them chances. Of course you learned, with some of you learned that it didn't matter who's in that office. They're all going to be doing the deeds of the party, that they're going to do what the big money say. Of course, some of you got it. I mean, it only took 40 different, couple hundred years. Kind of, pulverizes and penetrates the thick-hiddedness. Even the dumbest mofo will catch a hit after 40 months, But I'm saying, man, Sloppy Rowland was one of those people in 2008 he was pushing the hell out of Obama, wasn't he? I got to admit, I didn't pay much attention to him in 2008. I mean, I knew who he was. I'd seen him on like CNN. But then there was 2016. And he had to do what all greedy bastards do. Ride even harder for Massa. He rode for Massa so hard that he rode his ass right out of CNN. That's right, Roland rode his ass right out of CNN, trying to cheat for the Democrats. Trying to cheat, passing questions for town halls. I don't even gotta say allegedly, because you're gonna sue me, you gotta go through suing Donna Brazile first, because she told me on my show that she passed you a question. Or whatever, somebody between y'all two. And Hillary. So, but see, here's where the other part of the dirty part of the game comes in. Roland Martin's whole purpose of existing is to tell white people he's the Negro they got to talk to if they want to talk to you. That's his whole purpose. That's why he's here, Johnson. He gets his money because he the Negro whisperer. Sort of like Al Sharpton. Y'all don't really think Al Sharpton has a great show, do you? No one thinks that. No one thinks Al is a media maverick. He up there, boring-ass monologues he's reading that don't make sense. Him and Roland the same guy. They get their money off of convincing white America that they should give them money to talk to you because they're too white and because they have their finger on the black pulse of America. They know what we like. So the Harris campaign gave Roland Martin, what was it, like almost $500,000 to give her an interview, a softball interview during an election, and he didn't tell anybody that he was getting paid, that they gave him $500,000. Roland has never gotten $500,000 anything, ever. And he got $500,000 to interview her, and he couldn't say that. He couldn't tell us. He couldn't divulge that to his people. You don't think that $500,000 influenced him? Probably not. You know, I will admit one thing. I think Roland would have gave her the same interview if she paid or not. Because he is a Democrat soldier. They say Master P destroyed. He destroyed them in the Versus, Birdman, Cash Money, Gets No Limit. Yeah, Roland Martin's a no-limit Democratic soldier. He's a no-limit shield for the Democratic Party. So he took the $500,000 to tell us that Kamala Harris to give her softball interviews. And see, that's the thing, that didn't help her. She needed to, all of the concerns people had about her, he should have taken the opportunity to debunk those with her by don't run away from the shit people want, the reasons why people don't want you. Don't shame the people into thinking they're wrong to question. No, answer the questions. But see, Roland, they didn't have time to prep it or lie. So this is why now this is just my I'm just thinking out loud. Instead of trying to convince you to vote for her, they wanted to shame you and make it seem that if you didn't vote for her, that you hated black women. Even though, she's Indian. I don't know why it worked. It just worked. It works. So now they used to hide this stuff. They used to be slick with it. Now they're not slick at all. It's 2025. It's right there in the FEC filings. $500,000. Was it $350,000, something like that? Friends, that is what you call payola. It's what Nas used to, Nas blew the whistle on this back in, I think it was the 90s, about radio stations that demanded that they pay the radio stations before they would play their records. Yeah, it's greasing the wheels. I still don't understand it. I still don't get it. Roland was never going to stand up there for us, not for us. Roland's job is to corral Black America into the Democratic Party and not ask for anything. When you ask for something, he gets mad. When we make demands of the Democratic Party, it's his job to tell us our demands are unreasonable, that they're crazy, that we are Looney Tunes for asking for making demands of the people that we vote for. But Roland could take that $500,000 campaign contribution, political contribution, whatever that was. What they call it? What you call it, Roland? Interview that candidate, not ask tough questions. And I'm guessing he just got bigger, but I don't know, because every time I turn around, Roland's attacking Charlemagne or somebody black that, now he's on Pharrell's ass, he's on Stephen A. Smith's ass. Anybody that gets any influence, like Roland believes he's the only black person in America, anybody in America who's black should ever listen to. Because that's how he makes his paper. It's not that what he's saying is all that interesting. Roland been saying the same shit since 1992. He ain't saying nothing different. He was saying you had to vote for Kamala. He was saying you had to vote for Biden. He was saying you had to vote for Obama. He was saying you had to vote for Clinton. He was saying it's always the same thing. It's the most important election of our lifetimes. If every election is the most important election of our lifetimes, no election is the most important election of our lifetimes. It's as if these people don't understand how life works. They don't get it, Johnson. We see Roland for what he is. He's a cog in the death machine of the Democratic Party. That's what he is. That's all he ever was. For him trying to pretend that he's something else, that's just an insult to our intelligence level. Not a journalist, not a black media advocate. And I don't care if it's black owned, if what you own, what you owe or own, or what you run is full of shit. And I don't care how eloquent you speak, and I don't care how loud you speak, Roland, when you ain't saying shit. It doesn't matter how passionate you are in your speech, Roland, if what you're talking about is basically leading your people to slaughter. If there is no demand, then there's no purpose. A people that are stuck behind the 8 ball the way Black America is, we can't afford to play games with the likes of Roland Martin. Roland Martin is out to enrich Roland Martin. Roland Martin wants to maintain his spot. Roland Martin takes shots at upstarts, brand new people. People just, he go at people bigger than him, people little than him. All he do all day is shoot at people. It's crazy. I remember when Van Lathan came on the show, he was like, Tim Black, you got to stop going after people. He kind of tried to tell me that. Stop going after people. Well, I got to call out the shit that impacts Black America. And I'm sorry, Johnson, Black America in large just don't give a whole lot. Don't care too much about Broberg. We don't care. We can't even name these white people. Lots of times we don't pay attention to these people. Black Americans focus on the Black Americans, for the most part. For the most part. I'm not talking about the elite blacks who, oh yes, that's such and such director from such and such white show I never watched. Not those black people. Working class Black Americans care about working class black people shit. The end. But Van Lathan and anybody else who's critical of me being critical of black people never say shit about Roland, because all Roland do is go after black everything. Everybody black. And there's always people that disagree with him. That's all he does. The fact is that they thought we were going to stay asleep. They thought that their tricks were going to work. Roland's was banking on being that, riding off into the sunset, doing this for another 10, 15 years. I don't know who you're going to have succeed him. and then we would not connect the dots. And damn it, get my iPad, get my iPad. Unfortunately for him, we woke up, they got sloppy, we got cleaner, we got our shit in order, we know what's going on, we are now paying attention, all of us are firing on cylinders, we good to go, we recognize Gabe, we peeped it out, fam, and them days is over. Because you got sloppy. So let's break down exactly what happened to Roland, because it's bigger than Roland. It's about this entire system doing what it does. Before we go any further, welcome to the Tim Black Show. My name is Tim Black. You're watching Tim Black Live, the most dangerous night show in America. We do this every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 p.m. I got my amazing squad in the building, my moderators, Black Mamba, Ebony, and Buck Bewley in the building. Give it up for them, y'all. Yeah. Man, they try to keep things orderly in the chat room, man. They do their best. What else can I say? We're live on X, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Kick. We on Kick, Johnson. Damn it, we kicking it on Kick. Damn it, family, we kicking on Kick. Yeah. What else, Johnson? What else? We started making changes to the show. Made some changes to the show. We went from 10:30 to 9:30. Tell a friend. Telegram. Television. The show is brought to you by you, courtesy of this beautiful mug I have in front of me. This ceramic mug. It's the Tim Black Legacy mug. This mug can be yours. It's the politics for the people mug, not politics for the Democrats. We're not funded. And that's something I want people to understand. We're not funded here by Democrats or Republicans. In contrary to a lot of people in this space who do political content, I don't like either party. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't like either party. So you can lurk and throw rocks and say all this shit. I don't care. If the Republicans wrong, they wrong. I don't like them either. I'm not wanting Black America to go vote Republican. That's just a smear people use, because whenever you criticize Democrats, their brain is programmed that potato. Then you come in this motherfucker saying hash brown, their brain just they lose it. Potato. I want some hash browns. They can't get it. So now used to a person criticize the Democrats, well, what we supposed to do? Dig into their ass, maybe? Can we do that? Why does that gotta mean run and become a MAGA? Why do you think that's what you gotta do? Well, that's all they give us to do is be MAGA or be a Democrat. Nah, you could hold either party accountable, right? Who did you give your vote to last? Oh, I voted Democrat. Well, why don't you kick them in the ass for not doing what you wanted them to do with that vote? Well, that would just help Republicans. See, that's crazy talk. If you work a job, you work somewhere? Yeah, I work somewhere. What if they ain't pay you? Well, I'm about to kick somebody's ass. But Roland said, if you do that, they won't pass a black hate crime bill. Roland said we don't need one. Roland said the Asian hate crime bill wasn't the Asian hate crime bill because it had another name. All bills are called another name, lying ass. Let me just let Roland out. It's like a lot of Black America has decided we're going to do whatever Roland wants us to say or do, and he get to bully people. This Roland is 5'6" both ways, laying down and standing up. Fuck Roland. Why y'all scared to oppose him? He up there dancing for Hillary, and y'all, did y'all see that? What in the Samuel L. Jackson, what is going on here? You would think that would be the end of it. He did a live stream and told people to go to his iPad, and on the iPad was a guy butt naked, a black man butt naked, standing in front of the camera, ass all out. And that did not get him because black people said, like, we gotta support him because that's a naked black man on the, hold on a second. I could have swore I saw. Randy. Great call. Dr. Call. Everybody was crying like that shit didn't happen. Let Bill O'Reilly, you know what I'm saying? Let Chris Cuomo, not one of my favorite people, but let Chris Cuomo be doing a live show. Go to his iPad and be some white guy. Ned Flanders walking off with his. Let Ben Affleck be walking ass naked on his iPad. It wouldn't even. It'd be everywhere. Everybody be talking about it. You think white people would give him a pass for that? They wouldn't give him a pass for that. But there's something about us. We defend the indefensible. Now we understand what is over any bass in Roland's voice. Moist. Anyway, the point is this, Johnson. The Tim Black Show. We're the most dangerous night show in America. Why? Because we're going to call out both parties. Neither party serves working class people. You understand what I'm saying? People that are dumb enough to believe the Republicans are trying to help working class people are just people that drank Kool-Aid. It's sad because their Kool-Aid don't even have no sugar in it. Same thing goes for Democrats, though. Anybody believe the Democrats are working class supporters? No. Not even close to it. So, we gotta come here. We gotta expose these situations. We have to deal with it because without dealing with it, we're gonna end up with the same things. And I'm trying to tell y'all, fam, my kids, your kids, our neighborhoods, our communities cannot deal with that. That is a future leading us nowhere. That's a dead end for our futures. We cannot stand for that. It will not end well for us. We are behind the eight ball. We can't do this. We can't stay on the bottom of a country we built for free against our will and not have demands of it to try to get something off the deck. I don't care what any of these new nationalists, whatever these people are, these white, whatever they are. I mean, they're vulnerable, Johnson. The leader of the white nationalist movement is a Mexican dude and a black woman. They're vulnerable right now. Let's take them down. I mean, it's bad when white people, the white guy that was leading it got a Mexican and a black woman. I say it's time to get them too. Like, it's just they begging to be taken off the map. Someone said they just wanted to give it to Alex Jones, so they helped Candace. I don't know. These are theories. I don't know if they make any sense. But right here on the Tim Black Live Show, man, look, man, I want to say what's up to who in the chat? Anybody here tonight? I don't even know, man. Who's tuned in here? What's happening? Who's any Tim Black Wolfpack members? By the way, guys, I got a group of VIP people, right? These are my VIPs. These are the people that keep the lights on in the Tim Black Show. A lot of people say nice things in the comments, but these are the people that make it so the show happens. So give it up for the Tim Black Wolfpack, the VIPs. As Lord knows, I can't depend on AdSense. We be all outside doing the show, just outside, just, hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Hey, everybody. Tim Black Show. Oh, I'm sorry. Pop up. Hey, Tim Black Show. Be all on the phone outside. Mess around waiting on AdSense. Google don't demonetize. Get rid of you quick. You'll lose your channel like a set of keys messing around waiting on Google AdSense, relying on ads on videos you don't own. Come on, Johnson. Anyway, guys, we've been doing this 14 years, since 2012, 2013. We're going to keep doing it, Johnson. Let's get into the show. Shout out to my people, man. I see James Sumler, Black Rose in the building. Miss Nikki, Miss Mickey Jones. Black Mamba did make it through. What's up, Black Mamba? Yeah. I see Metamorph in the building. Cheryl Cooper in the house. Elizabeth in the house. FBA stand up. Yeah. Linda Valentine. What's up, Linda? How you doing? Willie Mays in the building. All right, y'all. I got some content I want to go to tonight. Get things cooking a little bit. Hey man, hold on to your seats, man. They getting sloppy, and we're exposing them for their sloppiness. Yeah. If you're watching us on X or on Facebook or Rumble, or if you're on kicking it on Kick, do me a favor, repost, reshare, do whatever you do on those platforms to amplify this message. The algorithm needs to know that you're watching the show. However you want to do that. If you got a friend at the algorithm, you can holler at them. Let the algorithm know that you're watching the Tim Black Show, most dangerous night show in America. Let them know that this show is cooking, that it's worth people paying attention to. They need to send it out to more people. How we do that is you hit like, or you repost it, you share it. Don't be a Karen. Sharing is caring. Don't be a Karen. Yo, fam, let's do it. Let's see what we got. Where we at, baby? Hope this thing did work out. It did. Let's go.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim. Well, that's not what we want here. That's not it. That's not what we're looking for here, Johnson. Well, let's get this out of here while we're here. Get that out of there. Let's get this out of there. Let's see if we have what the hell is that? Well, doggone it, Johnson. Let's see what happens here. Well, I might have to talk a couple more minutes because I'm looking for my video. I don't know if it actually popped up. Let's see what happened to it. Why did it only process that? Dang, Gordon Johnson. Well, I have no choice. I got to go get this. Do I have a commercial or anything? I got anything I can run real quick? You have anything here, Johnson? I don't know, Tim Black. Do you have anything that you can run right here? Let's see. Do we have a recording? Do we have an ad? Do we have something we could run while we go grab the rest of this content here? We could take a look and see what we got here, Johnson. Well, I guess I could run this. Is really short, though. It's going to give me no time to get over there and get back. All right, family. I got to go grab our stuff. This is the most dangerous show in America, the Tim Black Show. No masters, no middlemen. This is the most dangerous show in America, the Tim Black Show. No masters, no middlemen. This is the most dangerous show in America, the Tim Black Show. No masters, no middlemen. This is the most dangerous show in America, the Tim Black Show. No masters, no middlemen. Yeah, okay. This is the most dangerous show in America, the Tim Black Show. No masters, no. That's all good. That's not what we want, but okay, well, you know, that's not what we want. But yeah, it's rolling. We're good to go. You'll be ready in a couple minutes. Well, I can tell you this, man. We're going to cover this tonight, so I don't know if I want to get too far into it, but these, hey, Johnson, you know, these Epstein files, I have a quick update on it, but I got to say, fam, you know, there are people that are getting abducted right now as we speak in America. In America, there are people being abducted and being mistreated and being trafficked and being assaulted right now, this very moment. And we ain't got no time to talk about that shit at all. Anybody ever thought about that while we're going through this media frenzy about this old ass situation? Anybody consider the fact that there's ongoing shit right now? I mean, Epstein's dead, supposedly. Anybody else? Just me, huh? I'm the only one that's like, hey, what about what's happening now? Anybody? I guess it's just me, man. You know, I tend to be the only person, you know, jackass like that. I know it's just when everybody wants you to look over there, sometimes you need to look somewhere else, because I'm just saying. And they made it so that if you say that, they try to make it seem like you like trafficking, or that you try to say Trump. Dude, I could care less. Whoever did whatever, go to justice. I don't give a damn. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we talk about an old bank robbery where some people may have got some cash. There's currently a bank robbery in progress, and we're like, nothing to see here. I mean, these things are still happening. These things continue to happen. It's not a what. Whatever people say about Epstein, as bad as he was, do you think it ended with him? Do you think the activity of trafficking, of people say blackmailing or whatever, you think that is, how many movies have we seen where they got some woman lure a guy into a bed and then they take pictures and they use it against them? I must have seen 100 movies with that as part of the premise. It's such a common thing that you can't even make a movie around it because it's so common. It's like a scene in a movie, and it'll be 800 other things that happen because it's so mundane, it's so normal, it happens, so it's nothing. It's like, so what I'm saying is these things are happening. These things are happening all the time in America. We don't spend a lot of money on this. In fact, I want to ask Grok. I want to ask. And I like Grok because it talks to me. It's in real time. But I'm sure you can use any type of large language model to do what I'm going to do here. Right? So Grok, how many, I'm going to talk about how much money is spent fighting human trafficking in the United States. I understand that there's not a lot of money spent. So break that down and compare the spending on that. I can't hear you. I can't hear what you're saying. I'm voice mode. Here we go. Okay, did you get my question?
Sure, shoot.
How much money is spent in the United States fighting human trafficking within the United States? Okay. Are you answering that question?
What question? You just said, let's get my question, but didn't ask anything yet. What's up?
I was asking about human trafficking in the United States. How much money is spent fighting human trafficking? All right, I give up. It's not working. I guess it'd be better if I just asked the question, huh? That's what I get for thinking this was going to work. Okay. Fighting human trafficking in the USA on the federal level. Okay, so I'll tell you what they said here because I'd like to know how much money is spent doing that. Because when I'm watching CNN or MSNBC or MS Now, I don't even watch MS Now, but because they have shows, I don't know. But when I'm hearing people talk about it, they're not talking about the problem. They keep talking about this issue, and we know why they're talking about it. They're talking about it because they want to tie Trump up in it. That's it. If they didn't have a way to tie Trump into it, they wouldn't be talking about it. Approximately $250 is dedicated in federal funding, $250 million for anti-human trafficking efforts, primarily through TVPA appropriations across agencies like the Department of Justice, over $100 million for prosecutions and victim services, $31 million for OTIP and state DOL, tens of millions for global prevention. Total, including broader, exceeds 300, but approximately 250 in dedicated federal funding. Okay. $250 million sound like a lot of money, right? But not for us. What's a good thing to bring up when it comes to human trafficking? Or into federal spending? What's another area of federal spending? Just to give a kind of an idea of this. What's the thing? Let me get some audience participation, man. What's something else we spend money on in the federal level? Okay, here goes one. Damn, I wish I could just talk to this thing. How much money did we send to Israel last year?
Last year? Assuming you mean 2024, the U.S. dropped about $18 billion on military aid to Israel, mostly since the October conflict kicked off. That's the record high so far, per recent reports.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, compared to trafficking, it's disproportionate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Johnson. She said $18 billion of military aid to Israel. And we spent, I don't even know what that is. So basically, we spent 10%. I don't know. What's the percentage that we spent on human trafficking compared to that $18 billion? I'm bad at math.
About 1.4%.
I can't go no further. I can't do no more.
You're right. 18 billion for bombs, 250 mil for kids in cages. That's not math, that's priorities.
All right, thank you. See what I'm saying, folks? And this is why I'm saying when people up here talking about this, when I'm watching CNN or I'm watching a segment and I don't wanna, I'm seeing my peoples talking about this issue. Go ahead and steal this talking point. Go ahead and take it. Because, you can mention me. You can mention my name. You can say Tim Black. But yeah, this talking point is not being illustrated in the conversations at all because it calls into question. Because here's the thing, folks. When you point out how little the Trump administration spends to defeat human trafficking in the United States, it'll be very quick for us to go and see how much Biden spent. It'll probably be about the same. And they don't want to open up their can of worms. So I'm just saying, like, this is the hypocrisy that I'm talking about. We only care, the media only cares about this because the name Epstein. It only cares about it because they can tie the shit to Trump. That's it. Because it's a country, we really do not give a shit about poor people. Who gets trafficked? Black women. Not a priority. Not because Trump wanted to throw them out of jobs. Not because of DEI. Not because of ended affirmative action. All bad shit, DEI. DEI not so bad, but affirmative action, well, they help white women. I guess white women are pretty pissed off. Because both DEI and affirmative action help them more than anybody else. They should really be pissed. It's just a lot of them are not informed enough to know it really helped a lot of white people. But the most. But my thing is, if we really cared, right? We really cared about people, or we cared about black women, or we cared about poor people, because that's who gets trafficked, man. You going to work at the bank tomorrow in your, in your Corvette, whatever you drive, in your Prius, whatever it is, right? You're like, the chances of you being abducted and being human trafficked are like the same, as likely as you ought to be eaten by a cheetah, right? At home, not on safari, here at your house in Connecticut, okay? That's it, okay? So with the people that are vulnerable to human trafficking, the people that are getting human trafficked in the United States, I'm not talking about people outside the country. I'm talking about in the United States. I'm not talking about people trying to come to the United States. Get what I'm saying? That's a different thing. What I'm saying is people are getting human trafficked within the country. Similar to, that. But all we're talking about is the Jeffrey Epstein case and not even the broader. So I hear people try to be smart on CNN or MSNBC or whatever, and they'll say, this should be about the victims. Yeah, what about the ones now, Anna Navarro? What about the ones right here in America that are right now in someone's dusty-ass basement tied to a pipe? What about those women? No conversation. No argument. But anyway, let's get back to Trump. Let's get back to talking about a person appearing in documents. And like I said, fine, bring them all. Bring all those morons, animal degenerates to the line. I'm not trying to defend anybody a part of that shit. But if you're going to call yourself a journalist, commentator, reporter, whatever you are, thought leader, thinker, smart person, non-scumbag, and you got a platform, and you in this business, you might want to consider the fact this shit's happening right now as I'm speaking. Right now. And we spend so little money about it. What a country cares about an issue is shown in the money that's spent on the issue. That's it. What the media makes money on is shown by what it covers. And this has been my masterclass. My video should be ready now. We should be able to go to tonight's Content, fam. Yeah, man, it's just too many people. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
It's just too many people pumping their chest up, man, like they're saying something. You know, like, I'm seeing too many people acting like they dropping bombs, like mic drop, you know, talking about this Epstein shit. Now, this not a mic drop. Pick that mic up. Pick that mic up. You want to talk about something that matters? Talk about the little girls, the young women and the little girls being trafficked right now. Right now, dumbass. Wouldn't get an audience for it. Nobody want to watch it because it makes me feel bad. You know how many times I cover stories that are happening right now that are horrific, and people just don't even want to hear about the shit. They're like, I feel bad. Don't talk about that. They don't even want to know what's happening. I get the powerlessness of it. But you know what would have happened if you had to listen to shit that ruined your day? Eventually you'd be like, man, we got to do something about this. Because that's how shit works. First you're stunned, then it brings you down. Then after a while you go, man, what could we do to fix this shit? Because you're a human being. You're a good person. Eventually, you'd move out of uncomfortability. Eventually, you move out of feeling overpowered and powerless, and you'll want to activate. That's why information matters. That's why even people telling me what to cover, not to cover, I got to make the ultimate decision understanding how human nature works. Because out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. All right, y'all. We're live on X, we're live on Facebook, we're live on all these platforms, but it don't matter if you won't share it. And if you are a subscriber, you gotta hit the like button and you gotta hit subscribe to notifications because notifications helps. So please cut on all notifications for your Uncle Tim Black as we get into the content for the night. Let's go. Oh, that shit worked finally. Woo! All right. Let's go.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Speaking of wrong, Latino voters, we tried to tell y'all asses that man didn't give a damn about y'all, but the proximity to whiteness, oh my God, y'all were just loving y'all oh my God, I love how he hugs the flag. Oh my God, I love how he's an American. I love how he stands with us. We are all one. We are Latinos for Trump. We are Cubans for Trump. We love us some Senor Trump. We made songs and dances for Trump.
Yeah, you know, it's funny about Rolling on. He going after Latinos, right? Because a lot of Latinos didn't vote for Kamala. But check us out. It's border, like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that Roland does not even, he can't even wrap in his Democratic shield brain that there's some Latinos that are legal, U.S. citizens, who can give a shit about what he's talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't worried about nothing. They more concerned about competing with people who can work a job for $5 an hour and drive down wages, or that are hurting their businesses because you got a business that does drywall work, and you want to get paid a decent amount for your business. You're trying to grow your small business that's legit. You pay taxes, and you got to compete against a bunch of guys that got to take $100 for a job that costs $2,000 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, Roland is so, I don't want to say racist, but he's such a Democratic Party tool. He's like the screwdriver, the hammer, not the hammer. Hammers are very effective. He's like the box cutter. The only time you need a roller is when you got to open up a box, put it in the recycle bin. He's not going to help you build the house. You're not going to use it to tighten the bolt that's going to like keep the sliding board from shifting. No, you need rolling when you want to break down boxes.
And Trump got in there and sending y'all asses out of here. Trump is sitting here lighting your asses up.
You know, I don't think anybody who was here's the thing. This is why it's so pathetic. And there are people that love rolling that don't get it. People that are undocumented can't vote, at least they're not supposed to. So nobody who voted for Trump was undocumented. Unless he's right about you guys, you Democrats, trying to get undocumented illegal people to vote. Right? Because they can't. Right? So I don't even know what he's saying. Right? What's he saying?
Snatching your mamas and your daddies and your aunts and uncles and your cousins. Just jacking y'all up left and right.
Well, maybe they don't like their cousins and their uncles and their aunts and whoever it is. And once again, he's assuming that people that voted for Trump didn't know what Trump ran on. Trump ran on deporting motherfuckers. Yeah, you know something, man? I want this to be clear for people to understand this. A lot of people voted for Trump to do exactly what Trump is doing. They also wanted him to lower the price of groceries. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you need to get to it. Gas prices are down. And he's trying to end the wars. I don't know. Didn't he run on these things? But yeah, most people that voted for Trump kind of knew he was going to do a lot of deporting. But he still hasn't done as much as Obama, which has got to let you down, Roland, because I know how much you love Obama. You know what I'm saying? He didn't open up the gates like Biden did, which you never complained about, not once. Yeah, man. The fact that Roland says that he fights for Black Americans, I don't know how y'all square that in your head like he's being honest. How could you possibly say that you advocate for Black Americans when you didn't have anything to say when Biden left open the gates of hell? Folks, you can't tell me you advocate for Black Americans and you're not critical of the way our border policy has allowed us to compete against the globe in our own backyards. It's one thing to have to compete against the world when you put shit on the global stage, when you're going international with products. That's understandable. That's everybody. But when you got to compete against the whole world in your own country for jobs, and you are the most discriminated, marginalized group in the country, we got to compete against these motherfuckers. Not only do racist employers got to get over the fact they don't like Black people in general, they got stereotypical ideas about Black people to begin with, but now they got to decide not to hire somebody who they can pay give them bottle caps and a couple bus transfers and a bottle of water instead of giving them money or some shit. You know what I'm saying? What did Richard Pryor call it? That yang money? I'm trying to tell y'all, man.
We try to tell you, but no. Y'all was so adjacent to white that y'all wanted to line up with them MAGA fools.
What about Democrats? Yeah, see, I get your point here when you say that. There are some Latino Americans who are so adjacent to whiteness that they want to line up with MAGA fools. You don't think lining up with the Democrats is adjacent to whites? I'm really tired of this talking point. Roland, I'd love to have you come on the show and defend yourself. Yeah, man, I'm tired of talking about you. Just come on the show, man. Come on my show. Because I go on your show, you're going to cut my mic and all that other bullshit. Try to talk over me, start screaming like a little girl and stuff. I don't want that. We're going to be two men that had a conversation. Roland, What in your mind, what in your Democratic poison brain makes you think the Democratic Party is not a white organization? It's run by white people, and in a white organization. I don't know. Just because they give Roland a couple Scooby Snacks and biscuit batter mix, they don't even bake the biscuits for you no more. They used to give him baked biscuits. Now they just give him the mix. Get this nigga. Take that nigga. Go cook it. Cook it yourself. Get out of here. Come to the back door. You don't even work for CNN anymore, Roland. Roland don't even work for CNN no more. They don't even let him in the front door. He kind of come around back and tap and then go back and sit in his car and they'll open the door and put the batter mix at the side, right outside on the step so you can come back and get it after they close the door. They don't even want to see him anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these people, whether it's Roland Martin, Joy Reid, or Don Lemon, they don't understand. You're done. You're done. Mainstream corporate media are done with you. You are over. When's the last time you saw Melissa Harris Perry? Soledad O'Brien. These people are done, Johnson. When they get done with you, they break their toys. Tamron Hall's hanging on by a thread like this. Please, Lord Jesus, please, please. Please, 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 Lord, please, please, please. Please don't care. We don't care. Simone Sanders is doing everything she could do. She might end up having to go work at UFC. Do some blocking, FSL, Football League or something. She got to do something. Because her and Michael Steele, they next. They next. They would get rid of Sharpton, but Sharpton, he a mold for the feds, so he probably going to turn state's evidence. That's why they keep Sharpton around. Back to my point. My point is this. Roland's full of shit. That's the point. Stop talking like the Democratic Party is not a white organization. It is. You sound crazy. Any Latinos in the house? I know you're looking at this guy. What is?
We tried to tell you. Chris Toll, director of the Black Voter Project, co-founder of Black Insights Research, joins us right now. Chris, always glad to have you on the show. So, Chris, ain't it amazing what happens when folks learn the hard lesson? What's that phrase? Hard head make for a soft ass? Are running the show. Now the thugs are running the show. And now these Latinos,
Roland looked like he got the itis. Man, you ain't supposed to do a video in the bed. He doing a show in the bed. He don't give a damn about his audience. Roland is literally sleeping. Roland Turkey Neck just ate a turkey. He just ate a fried turkey, and this Hispanic dude that's on the screen with him doesn't seem to have a problem with it. They both got the itis. Roland, you too easy to roast. Roast turkey Roland. Listen to this, man.
See, the problem with the polling, Chris, the problem with the polling is Latinos are grouped together.
You know what? The arrogance level of Roland Martin is off the hook. I blame black women. Yeah, I blame black women. Oh, I blame black women. Some of y'all black women must have told Roland that he was handsome. Because you know how y'all could be. Oh, you look cute today, Roland. Look at you in your grown-up suit. Look at you. Remember, he used to wear the Steve Harvey suits? Look at Roland in his grown-up suit. So y'all told him he was cute when, you shouldn't have done that. Then you told him he was smart. You should know how Roland, you know how black women can be so nurturing and warm. They can be. You know what I'm saying? Can be very nurturing and warm. Oh, look at you. You was smart. You was unique. He's like, I am. You is smart. Baby, you are smart. You just as good as anybody else. Don't listen to them when they call you midget, fat midget. Don't listen to that. Don't you listen to them talk about you. They wish they was you. You are the smartest person ever. I am. Because it done went to his head, man. I couldn't even imagine coming to do a show sleeping. The dude is horizontal in his chair, horizontally, and he is insulting all Latino people. Not only is he insulting Latino people, he laying down while he doing it. Arriba! This will be some essays that come for him. And this dude, I don't even think he gonna clean it up for him, man. This ain't right.
Yeah.
So you really can't separate the white Latinos from the brown Latinos. See,
Or the conservative Latinos, the new immigrants from the second, third generation immigrants. And even in this poll, the numbers are so few.
Man, all y'all that was saying Roland got a raw deal, y'all need to take that back right now. The level of arrogance and don't give a damn that's on display in this clip, biblical. Damn it, Johnson, look at him.
That it's very hard to say anything here beyond just these really large shifts that are taking place because, it's a sample of about 1,200 people, but when CNN reports the results, they still have to report.
We're talking about a survey of 1,200 people. This whole segment of him roasting all these Latinos is based on one poll of 1,200 people. And that's the thing about polls, guys. You got to know the sample size, when the poll was conducted. He don't give us none of that. When y'all do the poll? Who did the polling?
People of color together all as one, just because there's not enough numbers to actually dig into these things.
you been talking to any of these dumbass black men who voted for Trump? Do they have any second thoughts?
See, and look, a segment that has nothing to do with black people still gets back to us somehow. Somehow you have to shit on black men. Somehow you got to do it. You got to come. You got to drive. You haven't gone anywhere if you ain't circled by and stopped by Pop's house. Got to stop by Dad's house and tell Dad how he ain't shit. How he didn't do for you. Yeah, we always talk about people with mommy's issues. We never talk about people with daddy issues. Obviously, Roland has daddy issues. A segment about Latino Americans who voted almost identical to white men. Hey, look, man, let's just be real. The only reason why there's even a category called Latino is because they wanted something to offset blacks. Because it all should be clumped into white. Really, it should. Let's just be white. White or black, that's it. But they needed a way to divide our power, to inoculate themselves against black Americans. So they want another group to pit against us. And they got to take a disparate group that includes people from all over the continent and put them in one thing to go up against us. To be able to say, why aren't you doing what they're doing? Look at you. Couldn't do it with Asians because not enough Asians were crazy enough to leave the continent and come over here. All right. I think we're almost done. Let's see.
I don't pay attention to that crowd too much these days, but I have been seeing some second thoughts, but more through contradiction than anything else. A lot of voters who are very loud and outspoken are very stubborn, and so they're not going to outright say that they were wrong, but they are going to say, "Oh."
That's what your polling data shows you, Mr. Polling Data guy. I didn't think polls could tell you that. Was that a polling question? No, it sounds like you're pulling stuff out your ass there, Enrique. Yeah, it sounds like Rick Fox is pulling shit out. He just pulling shit out his ass. He just saying whatever to make Roland go back to sleep.
Oh, well, now we're not getting this, or what happened to reparations, or these things that we thought were going to happen. We're going to get another stimulus check. So this.
What is this a brother? Is this guy a brother? Is this guy a brother? I'd like to know, is this a black man? He just said black people thought they was going to get reparations out of Trump. I've never heard anybody black say that shit. Trump did not run on no such thing at all. Trump didn't run on reparations. He didn't run on stimulus checks. That right there is disrespectful. I don't know the ethnicity of this guy Troller, Chris Charlotte. Where you grew up, man? Where your mama at? Where your daddy from? Where your mama from? Because this don't sound right. Why would you want to say some phony, bogus shit like that? But let's be clear, guys. A lot of black Americans didn't vote. Let's be very clear about that. Let's understand how this shit works. A lot of people were not excited about Kamala or Trump. They didn't vote. Half of America don't vote anyway. Half of America does not vote. But to say the black Americans, the 10, the 14, 13% of black men that voted for Trump, 13, 14, I forget what the number is. I think maybe the number is high as 20. I don't know. Not sure exactly. But you saying that they voted thinking they get reparations or a stimulus check. Now maybe they just wanted immigration to kick in. And maybe they just thought that Trump had better policies than Kamala. Is it possible that people could actually think that? I mean, it's possible. But since you black, you can't vote based on policy. You just gotta go vote on a D. You can't vote based on the policy and how it impacts your bottom line. I mean, it's gotta be some black Americans that wanted tax breaks. There's got to be some black Americans that are in tax brackets that wanted tax breaks. Isn't that alone by itself an incentive for some black Americans? I'm not saying they should, but wouldn't that be an incentive like it would be for some white Americans to vote for the Republican candidate on that alone, if they're in that tax bracket, where they will be helped or benefited by that? I mean, right now in New York, if you make over $1 million, you might not have won it, ma'am, Donnie, because he's talking about increasing your taxes. Does that mean you don't love your mother and that you want a stimulus check? See, this is really reductive, and this is what they do, and I find it, folks, what they do is they diminish our capacity to make our own decisions by shaming us and grouping us into a small pigeonhole of what we're supposed to do. Folks, you can do whatever you want to do with your vote. My thing is, let's make sure you get something for it. Something more than, I'm with her. That doesn't help your kids, your parents, your life, your mortgage, nothing. She know how to make collard greens in the tub. That had nothing to do with anything for you in your life that's going to make your life better. First of all, it's disgusting. That's something you should never advocate for. People talked about Trump making jokes about shining light to kill bacteria and COVID. No one talked about Kamala threatening to kill people with bacteria from body debris from under the tub from this. They didn't talk about how Kamala wanted people to wash their collards in their tubs where their butts were. Naked as a jaybird in your tub, and then gonna put your food in the tub. Let's keep going, man. Just saying, it's just crazy. This guy's full of it. No wonder why he comes on this show.
The same old kind of talking lines, but it's very clear that there is some sense of buyer's remorse for a lot of these people from underrepresented communities that were throwing their support behind this administration.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS.
You know what, man? People that listen to CNN or MSNBC or whatever, MS Now, NPR, any of these liberal news organizations, or maybe they are crazy enough to listen to some of these whiny-ass little white boys that call themselves progressives or liberals online. Jesus Christ. I don't know why. I don't know what grown person would. black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American. I don't understand. Why somebody like Harry Sisson or whatever his name is, like, why would you? Anyway, the point is, there are reasons why people did things, right? And they don't want you to have agency over your own vote. That's my problem with these folks. They want us to be in a herd mentality where we do whatever we're programmed to do. Folks, do what's in your best interest. My job is not to make you a Republican or a Democrat. My job is to make you a free thinker. My job is to support. I support and provide content for people that are independent thinkers. If that's something that you become, or if you already are or are interested in, then this may be a good place for you, because I'm not going to defend Republicans or Democrats. And since my group, my family, I come from a group of people who 90% of the time in the last 50 years have voted Democrat if they voted, without even looking to see who over there. I think that's a bad strategy. That's it. That's all. And if you're gonna do that, at least make demands of them so you get a good deal. Only a person like Roland would make that seem illogical, crazy, that he got to run and get his iPad to come back with some fabricated nonsense to lie to you to try to scare you. We negotiate We're taught to negotiate everything. Negotiate your salaries. Negotiate your prices when you purchase a car. Negotiate your finance rate. They don't want you to negotiate who you elect. They don't want you to negotiate which candidate you support. Anytime people tell you that negotiating is crazy, you got to question the person who's telling you that and decide for yourself if they're working for you or if they're working for the business. When you go to Vegas, the dealer works for the house. All right, guys, give it up for this segment if you thought it was helpful. If you enjoyed it, come on now. Come on, Johnson. And I tell you, I wish Roland would go in on me like he been doing Charlamagne. I would destroy his ass. One time, Roland, come on to Tim Black Show. I know you're tired of me talking about you. Come on over here so you can get some of this work. Come on over here. Because I'm going to ask you a question, I'm going to shut up, and you're going to have to answer. And when you start running around, beep, 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 start doing word salad, I got you. I got you. One of the questions, Roland, you can study now. One of the questions would be, Roland, why are you against Black Americans making demands of the Democratic Party? Since when did that become a bad thing for Black America? White Americans make demands. Why can't we? I love to hear his response. I mean, we know why. We know why. Because he's the assistant manager of the rakes in the shovel section at Home Depot of the Democratic Party. So he that's way past his pay grade. His job is to sell some more rakes. And look, the highest price one at that. All right, family. Next.
Detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
Go Tim! Men! Grown men with big dicks!
Y'all remember this, right?
In the women's locker room. And that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to make sure the girls know. The fuck?
Okay, so y'all recall this woman, she went off and she's at a fitness shop club and they had trans men in the bathrooms. I got a clip here of Joy Reid, of all people, responding to this, and Joy Reid doesn't sound like Joy Reid. She sounds like a human being with common sense. And this is a side of Joy Reid I've never seen.
I would be disturbed. I'm telling you, I would be alarmed. I'm alarmed enough when I see a woman with her dangling boobies.
Yeah.
If I saw a penis in the ladies' locker room, I would freak out too. This is just. I mean, this is nothing against trans anybody. What it's saying is, if I turn around and I see a penis in front of me inside of the room, I would probably go to management and say, "Wait a minute, why is there a naked man in this room?" Because just the world we live in, just from a safety standpoint, and just from a privacy standpoint, so I can see why she would have gone and reported to management. There's a man naked in the bed. Now, if they clarified and they said, well, trans, okay, but I think they should take her concerns also seriously. Because if she's uncomfortable, does she not have the right to be at least uncomfortable with this situation, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Next on deck.
Okay, I gave her too much credit, Johnson. Yeah, I gave Joyless too much credit. I thought she was going to be a human being about this all the way through. So it's okay to complain, but they shouldn't do shit about it. Yeah, so Joy Reid, now remember, man, she on her own platform. She is doing content on her own volition. I mean, listen to Joy Reid say, hearing Joy Reid say, PP, was that on my bingo card today? But hey, okay. All right. But, so she got her own platform. She can say whatever she wants to say, Johnson. And you mean to tell me she's going to act appalled that a woman, and she's going to agree, hey, yeah, I'll be upset. I look over and see a man junk in the woman's bathroom, in the woman's locker room, I'll be upset. But you taking a big stand for women is saying she should be allowed to be upset about it, but you can't go so far to say anything should happen. Like, maybe they reverse that rule. Maybe they make him go in the men's room since he has men's body parts. Crazy, right? See, these are the people that have been leading our media content. These have been the spokespeople. And a lot of people don't understand the delineation movement, right? And it took me like talking to people, getting it, understanding. They think it's just being against people who are not Black Americans. No, it's that sometimes people can't tell the difference. I do believe sometimes we think because someone's Black American, they're going to have a truer take on the issue that's more suited or more aligned with really how Black Americans feel. And sometimes I think that's true. Sometimes we think that, and sometimes I think you're right about that. But see, someone like Joy Reid, I think she would lie or she would say what is required to be said by her party, no matter if she was Black American or not. But I think the reason why she is who she is in part because she is not a Black American, that her parents are from another country, that she is a first-generation Black American, that she can not ride for us in any meaningful way. I mean, they'll virtue signal. She'll virtue signal and make claims, and say little things when it's a white person she's beefing with on her show, and then she'll throw up blackness then. But this is a Black woman going to the bathroom, going to the locker room, and being assaulted, basically, by this. And not having the guts to say, you know what? This shouldn't happen. This should not happen. Shouldn't have had the courage to say that. Now, if you're a politician, I get it. I disagree with you. I call you a coward. But at least then I can understand. You're a politician. You want people to vote for you. And you want to put it a certain way where you don't get discounted, totally thrown out with the bathwater. So you might not be able to be as blunt. But when you are an independent media person, really? You can't say, hey, this should never happen. Dude should have to go somewhere else to take a leak or change his clothes. He can't be in the steam room with his junk out. In the woman's steam room. In the woman's showers. You can't say that. So, to those people, there's been not many, most people love my video exposing Don Lemon, exposing Joy Reid. It's the gatekeeper hacks that they are. But come on, fam. Come on, fam, keep it real. This video says it all. She relates to how she would feel. Somehow she equates it to seeing an older woman without a bra for some reason. She equates that to this. I think those are different things. Totally. But see, it's just, they cowardly. They're cowardly and they cape for the party. They cape for the activity. I saw the same thing. There were some progressives who did the same thing. Man, I'm so glad, folks, it's been over 5 years. Over 5 years since I was even like affiliated with progressive type stuff, because they didn't want me, man. They just kept getting crazier and crazier. They didn't think you should be able to own a gun. Then these issues with trans came up with bathrooms and sports, and then Kamala. Hey, I'm not gonna. They supported Biden. All these things. I couldn't deal with it. I'm over here independent. And not only am I independent by saying that, everybody call themselves independent, but then they be swinging back to the Democratic Party. I don't do that. Democratic Party has lied and cheated long enough. They don't need me to try to cape for them on the sly. As if you're trying to help them get votes. What is that even about? Joy Reid, you are not a journalist. You are a hack at this point. And knowing Joy Reid, the real Joy Reid, the Joy Reid before she got MSNBC, the Joy Reid that was on Twitter and on her blogs, being very critical of the LGBT community, very famously going after someone who was accused, alleged of being LGBTQ governor of Florida. Y'all remember that? She didn't mince words then. When she used to go after Lindsey Graham, called him Miss Graham, all this stuff, going out to his orientation. But now, all of a sudden in 2025, she a different person. I'm trying to tell you can take the hack out the company, but you can't take the hack out of the hack. And it's still present. Let's keep going, fam. Let's keep going.
Back with Tim Black.
And of the work that needs to be done.
We know that Epstein had property in the Virgin Islands, right?
Yes.
What was your relationship with Epstein?
So Jeffrey Epstein was a constituent. He was a resident of the Virgin Islands, lived there, I guess, more than half of the year because he was registered there. I had received donations from him after the last investigation came out, which was after this texting. I gave any donations that I had previously received from him to women's organizations and did not have any contact with him. But like many constituents, individuals get your phone number, they text you about issues, they speak with you. I have spoken with him about issues that are relevant, things that are going on in the Virgin Islands and elsewhere around the country. I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a real friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, You get information from people where you can.
Why wasn't there?
Did you hear that shit, man? Before we go on, man, I just want people to recognize what we're talking about. Oh, gosh, man. Recognize this. This Democratic representative, she was texting. Epstein was texting her, giving her directions on how to interview Michael Cohen, how to hurt Trump, and she was interviewing Michael Cohen on the stand during a House subcommittee hearing. In real time, it's video. I covered it before. He was telling her what questions to ask Michael Cohen. She's trying to make this seem like that's a regular thing. I've received phone calls from Jeffrey Epstein. He's a constituent. Yeah, because he lived in the Virgin Islands. How many regular voters do you think have the phone number to text members of Congress who will respond during committee hearings while they have someone on the stand? That's not supposed to be weird at all. That's not supposed to be conflict of interest. That's not supposed to be anything that you concern yourself with. And all I'm saying is that is crazy. I'd also like to mention that Jeffrey Epstein was worth about $500 million at the time. Okay? $500 million. We're talking 2015 money, 2016 money. Okay? $500 million then. Not now, then. 10 years ago. It's a whole lot of money. These people defending her, these people making this a nothing burger. As I stated, there are actual human trafficking victims that we could be talking about that are occurring right now in America, all over the states of the United States. No one's talking about it. We're all talking about Epstein. Okay, fine. At least the Democrats could do is not lie about their people when their people get jammed up. Everybody's talking about Trump. Well, they didn't account for her getting jammed up. It is what it is.
More clamor in the Biden administration to make sure that these files were released?
Well, I can't speak to that. What I will say is Donald Trump ran on this.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
And as a prosecutor,
This woman just asked Representative Ayanna Pressley, why weren't there more clamoring questions from Democrats asking to open up the Epstein files when Joe Biden was president? And I have people that are programmed to believe no files could have been opened. That's not true. Some were opened. Not all. Of course, not victims' names, right? There are things that were held back, but there were civil lawsuits and what have you. But there were like guardrails around certain information that couldn't be released. We're talking about hundreds, thousands of some crazy number of documents. Why weren't we hearing Democrats say, hey, we really want to see those documents? That's the question. Listen to Ayanna Pressley's answer.
get information from people where you can.
Why wasn't there more clamor in the Biden administration to make sure that these files were released?
Well, I can't speak to that. What I will say is Donald Trump ran on this, on the release of the Epstein files.
But Congressman, I just want to jump in there because Jeffrey Epstein died in a jail cell in 2019. Yes, Ghislaine Maxwell, who you referred to, was prosecuted, convicted in 2021. But President Biden was in office, Democrats were in office, and could have pushed for this very argument to make sure that survivors were honored.
Sure. And all I'm saying is that
now they want to take a former United States prosecutor, the representative of the people of the Virgin Islands, and without even going to the ethics committee, much less a court, they want to arraign her on some charges based on a newspaper article that she did something lawful. However ill-advised it may have been, she took a phone call from one of her constituents. Now, I don't think it is the position of the very distinguished gentleman that if we find Jeffrey Epstein on the phone with Donald Trump, he should be impeached for it, or is that his position? Is his position that any time Jeffrey Epstein got somebody on the phone, and he got a lot of people on the phone, that person is suddenly guilty, that sounds like guilt by association. That sounds like collective guilt.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
No, it's not collective guilt. It's not collective guilt. Listen, man. Let's go back to Ayanna Pressley first. Let me do this. Ayanna Pressley, what are you talking about? She a politician. She's got to carry water for her party. That's obviously what she's doing here. Ask a very basic question. Hey, you guys are upset now. You run around like chickens with your heads cut off, upset about Trump. These files now are driving you crazy, keeping you up at night, staring at the ceiling. We got to get the files, got to get the files. Walking around, walking in the buildings, walking in the stop signs, face first, because you're so fixated on getting the Epstein files. It's $1 million in a one-track mind. Just walking around, just losing your minds, thinking about the Epstein files. And the question is, why no concern before this? We know the reason, Trump. Gonna get Trump. Okay, so fine, that's it. She can't say it. The fact you can't say it, you got to come up with a better way to soft shoe that shit. You can't just be like, I got no comment, none of my business. Can't do that. Okay. That you would have an interview about the Epstein files and not be prepared to answer while your party didn't care. Especially someone who's been so vocal about victims. Ayanna Pressley was one of those people that are very vocal about women who are victims of assaults and things of that nature. If you're going to be that person, you should have to be that person all the time, not just when it suits your party. Next. This guy, Raskin, horrible. God, I had no idea this guy was that bad. I mean, I never paid attention to him. I knew it was a guy who was battling an illness, and I'm like, that's all I knew about him. I'd see a couple times, I see him. He'd be, in videos. I never covered him. He's local to me. He's here in Maryland. That's how little I care about this guy. But here's the thing. As he defends the Democrats, man, he's pathetic. He makes the Democrats, he makes politicians themselves. He makes politicians, God, he makes them look horrible. How can I say this? He makes meth dealers look like Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, I mean, this is some scumbag, dirty stuff, man. This is dirty dealings right here, fam. He's excusing his colleague of unethical. Yes, it's unethical. I don't know how illegal it is. The bottom line is they can't be honest. They can't be honest, man. And that's why I'm saying this whole Epstein thing, man, is just horrible. Everything comes out. If this is how it's going to be, and we see how it's going to be, guys, as stuff comes out, all Democrats are going to defend any Democrat that's in it. Any dirt on Democrats are going to be defending it on party lines. And they're just going to be waiting to see if they could tie Trump to something bad in it. And Republicans, I don't know what Republicans are going to do. They're going to play defense the whole time. Many are pretending like Mike Johnson, pretending like they support this. They don't, because Trump don't support it. And they don't want problems with Trump. So a lot of that's going on, right? But at the end of the day, we still have victims of these human trafficking, and those people are not getting any shine. And that's what's disgusting. I'm not even seeing documentaries that dive deeper into human trafficking. Right now, you would think you'd cut on a news show and that will be the focus. It's not. Everybody's picking up the carcass like vultures of Epstein. That's all they're doing. They're not even pretending like they care. And to me, that's pretty sloppy, Johnson. All right, let's keep it going, fam. Yeah, bad stuff, bad stuff. Let's go. What's that?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
This is a country based on racism and slavery, and founded in it. There is systemic racism
and misogyny.
And there are people that I've never met anyone that raises their hand and says, I am racist. However, there are people that seem to be able to look
What you say? Nick Fuentes just entered the chat. That's why he's doing so well right now. She just said she never met anyone who called and said that they were racist.
Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
This is a country based on racism and slavery, and founded in it. There is systemic racism
and misogyny.
And there are people that I've never met anyone that raises their hand and says, I am racist. However, there are people that seem to be able to look the other way when it comes to racism. So you have a president who traffics in misogyny, who traffics in xenophobia, who traffics in sexism.
And won.
And he won. And won against a black woman. So don't tell me that this country is ready for a black woman. Don't tell me this country is ready
also,
for
let's
a
face
woman.
It, Hillary Clinton was one of the most qualified people.
She was
Well, can I
qualified
finish this
to
sentence? Let me finish my sentence.
Well, I got interrupted.
She's qualified. She's more qualified than any man she's run against, in my opinion.
Correct.
And she lost to a reality talk show host.
Qualifications are not what decide the presidency. Right now should tell us that.
That's right.
There's a lot of factors that do. And she had years of, she was dragged down by her husband's baggage.
The Clinton
and the
part.
country
There's a
wanted
reason
an
why this
outsider.
country has only had one black male president. There's a reason
We will see another
for that.
black man.
That little 8-year stint as first lady tends to confine, to be a bit confining, right? Because, that the job was not to just represent me, but to represent the nation. And as the first black family in that house, just like, black folks feel in all the first positions that we're we're carrying the torch, we're lighting the way, which means that we've got to do it really, really well.
Does anybody doubt right now, as we sit here on this day, November 17th, 2025, that if Michelle Obama came out today and said, I'm going to be the Democratic nominee, I aspire to be the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America, who would beat her? It's going to be Josh Shapiro? It's going to be Gavin Newsom? It's going to be Governor Beshear in Kentucky? Who do the Democrats have that could compete with Michelle Obama? What do you mean the country isn't ready? The country isn't ready, so you'd lose to J.D. Vance? Really? Or you couldn't have a chance to beat Marco Rubio, who I think is the best candidate the Republicans have for the presidency? Because Trump ain't circumventing the 22nd Amendment and is going to be ready to be able to run for a third term. So if Michelle Obama is really, really serious about what she's saying, she's also arguably seriously false. Because I believe she'd cakewalk to the Democratic nomination. And I believe she could win it all. Do you want it? Can't knock you if you don't. You're the first lady. You had experiences at the White House that most wouldn't have. You would know better than most of us. But the bottom line is, if that's the case, then say so. Don't look at this country and point to men and act like we wouldn't vote for you. Yes, we would. Yes, we would. There's plenty of men that I know that will vote for Michelle Obama. And I can't imagine any Democrat who wouldn't. Class personified, educated, smart, excellent orator. The first man who would be the first man in American history also happens to be the former president who has a similar reputation. By her side, run, Michelle, run. Run.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah.
Tim Black's BS detector.
I'm detecting a lot of BS here. First of all, ladies of the View, you can't come talking to me about Hillary Clinton. Don't do it. Save yourselves. Your hypocrisy, Jesus Christ. She was so unlikable, her mother wouldn't hold her when she was a baby. That's how unlikable she was. They kept her outside and kept the dog inside. Okay? That's how unlikable she is. Okay? She has a personality defect, and she had the unmitigated gall to be somebody who campaigned on some of the worst of Bill Clinton's policies that totally sucked with the base of the Democratic Party. There's a lot of reasons why she lost. Both times she ran up against people that were way more charismatic, interesting than she was. Both times. So this whole like, okay, I get it. You're saying women have a problem running. Well, yeah, give her what was Hillary running on again? I forget. Name what Hillary was running on. What was Hillary talking about? What was Hillary's big plan? What was Hillary Clinton campaign on? We all know what Trump's campaign was on. Trump campaign on deportation, ending wars, calling out the establishment, trying to shake up. Everybody thought he was going to be this guy that goes in and just cleans drain the swamp. So we all know things Trump ran on. What did Hillary run on? Quick. What'd she run on, Joy? Being a white woman. Being a woman. That was it. There was nothing else there. Folks, that's not enough. It never was enough. Kamala made the mistake of doing the same thing, and she is not white. Duh. How dumb can you be? It didn't work for the white lady to do that. You know it's not going to work for you. So this entire conversation, the entire notion, man, is just people who are too lazy to come up with a real argument. They have no real plus. And when it comes to, so they move over. Let's move over to Michelle Obama. I tried. I've been trying to find a way to like Michelle. I've been trying to find a way not to hammer her when she says dumb things. Yeah, because she's Michelle Obama, you know. I got women in my family. I don't want to do that, but I got no choice. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I can't see you running for president because I know you'll run on nothing. You're not talking about shit now. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Things that black people care about, things that working class people care about, you don't talk about that shit. You have a platform, you can talk about anything you want, and you talk about trivial bullshit. You're vacuous. You're empty. You're an empty pantsuit. And you would run the same thing. You bring out Beyonce, it'd be a bunch of women parading around talking about how this is going to be groundbreaking, and you come out and you wouldn't talk about shit. And nobody would be, after you started talking and you went around and people got to know you, they realized you have brown skin and that's about it. That's it. That's all. The fact that you have to stoop to now like doing tabloid like shows for people to pay attention to you. Because I remember when your podcast started and no one gave a shit because you were very uninteresting. Michelle, you're not an interesting person. Mrs. Obama, First Lady Obama, Michelle Obama, you're not interesting. People are interesting because you're interesting only to people that are in awe of your position as First Lady, as first black First Lady. Other than that, not interesting. I can name 20 black women that are more interesting than you, that I would rather hear talk. And that's just it. That's it. You gotta be able to have the thing. Neither Hillary or Michelle have the thing. Why can't we tell the truth? There are women that have the thing. There are women that are interesting. There are women that can talk and mesmerize crowds. They do it for a living. There are a lot of women that have the ability to captivate audiences. Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton are not those people. And then on top of that, like at least if you could talk, you could pretend that you had shit to say that people wanted to hear. But then on top of that, not running on substantial things that make lives better. Not selling people on ideas that are going to raise their standard of living. That's going to put more jobs. It's going to bring the jobs back. I mean, y'all forget, Trump did a whole heap of talking about bringing jobs back to the United States. He talked about the crime, how he was going to do the deportations, what it meant, how dangerous things were, our standing in the globe, and how it impacted us here, and all that. He did a lot of talking about. A lot of it was bullshit. I'll be the first one to admit that, but he talked about it. Michelle Obama will be busy talking about feelings in her space. And now, former First Lady of the United States of America. What's she talking about? She said being a First Lady was confiding. So was being a working class black woman without money. That's pretty confiding. I know it's a lot of black women that would trade with you. Hell, I know it's a lot of white women that would trade with you. Being broke is confiding. It can find me. Get out. Come on, man. Really? That's it? That's it? That's what you got? The struggles of the 0.1%. Oh my God. I couldn't do whatever I wanted to do. No one can do whatever they want to do that's in the public eye. I saw a Netflix special of Eddie Murphy. He couldn't even go to the store with his child because it's Eddie Murphy. Said he went out, him and Steve Martin went to get a cup of coffee. He's like, where's security? Shit. Because it's confining. Welcome to being famous. But it sure beats shopping off the rack at Marshall's, doesn't it? It sure beats not knowing if the heat's going to stay on. It sure beats, an empty Christmas tree. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All I'm saying, folks, is that how could you possibly, at this rate, there'll never be a woman president because they got these horrible role models of what that looks like and what that person must do. And if you guys are the blueprint for it, it'll never happen. Someone has to come and break the mold. Someone has to come along and break the mold and be an authentic, at least appear authentic, trend-setting, bold, interesting, point of view, vision for the country, something. Trying to shame men into voting for you ain't gonna work. No, that's not gonna work. And the fact that anyone has to tell them that, and then they shame you not buying into that. It just shows you exactly what they would do as president. They would try to shame you. If she ran, they try to shame you. And last but not least, before I go, Stephen A. Smith, man, just shut up. Just stop talking. You're the flip-flop, flapjack, upside-down burger, inside-out sandwich, smash burger style, copycat, no ethics, no real stance on anything, Johnson. You just say anything. You thought Kamala was an empty suit and she didn't have shit to sell. Obama's the same thing. Michelle Obama's even worse. She feels totally like she ain't got to put together a campaign. She ain't trying to work, and she ain't trying to get on the level of understanding people's pain. It's all this philosophical, abstract bullshit. To me, she is as airy as Kamala. And that's fine. Not everybody should be a politician. Some people should be that way and just be, great parents and have a great business and be a great whatever she is and do that thing. Why does she have to be a politician? A lot of people shouldn't be politicians. I think it's a rare combination of skills and talents that make you adapt, or being a good option for that. Not everybody can do that. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean everybody's racist and everybody hates women. It's just not for everyone. And before I leave, Stephen A. Smith, man, at least pretend to have a backbone on some type of issues, Johnson. Donald Trump ran through a field of white men like they were twigs. He just ran through them. He ran through them like the bus. Like, he just ran through them like he ran through them like they weren't there, frankly. And from Jeb Bush to Lindsey Graham to Marco Rubio to Krispy. He ran through Krispy Kreme like Krispy Kreme was Krispy Kremes. He's ran through a bunch of white people, white men. He even ran through Ben. He ran through Ben. He ran through the pizza guy. Probably killed the pizza guy, didn't he? Godfather pizza dude. Because not everybody is equipped to be president. Look what he did to DeSantis. He ran through DeSantis. Nobody even knows who? DeSantis. So, look, not everybody should do this job. Not everybody should apply for the job of Democratic or Republican nominee. Just because the Democrats the reason why you could say Michelle would get the nomination is all these fucking lame ass Democrats would fall down for. All of them all of a sudden would pull a hamstring before they even start running. They all fall out. Oh, my leg. Oh no. And they would all fall out. And she somehow win. And then she would get destroyed in the primaries. I'm sorry, in the general election. We get destroyed in the general because the Democrats cook their primaries. They cook them. They're fixed. Okay? That's what that is. But that doesn't mean you're good because you won a primary. Not the Democratic Party, it doesn't. Not in the Democratic Party. It means they wanted you. It means that people agreed. They made deals in the back rooms that you're that person. But that does not mean you're good. That doesn't mean you'll win the general, and none of that. So to make that claim is not saying a whole lot, Stephen A. You need to call up Cuomo, who gives you all your other political advice, and do some further discussion on the matter, because this line of talking is bullshit. She could have beat Kamala, but then it'd have been the word salad debate of the century. They'd have talked for 2 hours and nothing would have been addressed. All right, damn it. We're almost done, guys. This is where I remind you to go join Tim Black. Become a member of the Tim Black Show. Go to jointimblack.com or patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. That used to be the name of this show many, many moons ago, Tim's Take Live. I used to give my take live. So go find that on Patreon, become a member, starting at only $5 a month. It keeps the lights on in this dungeon, family. See what I did there? All right. Who's that knocking at my window? Blah. Nobody now. Who's that knocking at my window? Blah. Nobody now.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
And if somebody can't fight, and I'm talking about the 8 that voted with Republicans to reopen the government, and Schumer, who behind the scenes gave his blessing, that the most patriotic and best thing we can do as progressive Democrats is hold their feet to the fire. Because this centrist, Democrat, pick me. We don't want to upset anybody. We're going to govern incrementally has made us all less safe. And the Constitution is hanging in the balance.
Yeah, look, you're spot on here. I mean, it reminds me of words that the writer Gary Young wrote, about 10, 15 years ago, where he essentially said that Jim Crow had a son. And, instead of, wearing their sheets, out in public, they display the same value system of those who, believed solely in white supremacy.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Man, I gotta say, Johnson, look, there's gotta be a rule. There's gotta be a rule, man, that Brandon Johnson has to actually have something to say if he's gonna talk. That should be a rule, man, because, look, man, the shit that's going on in Chicago is horrific, and we've been calling that out on this channel. You're going to have this guy on, and he's going to be able to pontificate about white supremacy. That's all he can do. That's all he's been doing. Whenever they bring him up, hey, what's up with the deficit? What's up with the bankrupt in the fucking city, dude? He's like, white supremacy and white people and racism and what they got to do with you and his damn city budget. And he just goes off on a tangent and start throwing as much black pain and suffering at the wall as he could throw against the wall. Meanwhile, he spent all the money on migrants because he did not have a backbone to call out Joe Biden administration as they were sending herds and herds of undocumented people to Chicago. He had no stomach for standing up at all. This podcast with these two dingbats, where they just drop F-bombs and say random dumb shit, they just peddle Democratic. It's like Democrats don't have a core message, right? They don't really stand for anything except Trump is evil, Orange Man bad. And someone told them that if you curse, if you drop an F-bomb or if you curse, all of a sudden it seems as authentic. I don't know where they got this from other than Jasmine Crockett, who's also cosplaying. Listen, man, I think most of Americans, the ones that are crazy enough to listen to you guys, what you say after the F-bomb or what you say after you act as if you are tough about what you're going to do for us is all that matters. And most of the time, they don't have anything to say. Same thing goes to Brandon Johnson. After he ends up giving us a history lesson on how bad it was, how bad Jim Crow was, or how bad slavery was, after he does all that shit, what's he talking about doing? Nick, man, if I want to hear about how bad slavery was, I'll open up my post-traumatic slave syndrome book from Dr. Joy DeGruy. If I want to know about the harsh realities of the mass incarceration and how horrible, devastating it was to families, I'll read The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. It's on my shelf back there. If I want to know more about Jim Crow and about how they handicap Black Americans from finding the financial freedom that we deserve, I'll read The Color of Money, books back there. So I don't need these fake ass dollar store Obamas. I don't need to value pack whatever this is, these fake activists to come tell me all the ills of black life in America. What I'm talking about is like, what you plan to do about it, Johnson? What is your plan forward? What are you doing for the people of Chicago? What are you doing for the people of Texas? What are you doing for the rest of us? What is your plan for Black America? There's got to be a rule, Black Americans, that we stand on. And that should be, if people are going to open up their mouth and talk about the struggles of Black people just to lead us to start talking about migrants, LGBTQ in men's bathrooms or women's bathrooms, and any of that shit, we need to shut them down. No one gets to talk about Jews and the Holocaust and then pivot to migrants. No one talks about Jews going through Nazi Germany and then pivot to trans people using a bathroom. It should be you know why? You know why? Because it's a damn insult. But for some reason, they're fine with and they're allowed to continue to do this with Black American history. Our Holocaust gets brought up every 2 seconds. Not to say what you're going to do for Black America, but to help some other group of people. And we all know that conversation Brandon's having ain't about Black people. That conversation, we saw that whole clip. That clip is about migrants. It's about undocumented people and how Trump is bad and about the National Guard or ICE or some shit like that. Because that's all they do. And last thing, it doesn't matter if you're a Black American. You do not own Black American history. You don't get to take our Black suffering and pain and do whatever you want with it like a Rubik's Cube and ta-da! Migration, immigration law, ICE, and use it to your own devices. Just because you got black skin or melanin in your skin, you don't get a license to do that. Folks, we got to start calling these people out, man. I'm going to continue to call them out. Not start. I'm going to continue to call them out. I need your support on this because no other group of people would allow that. We got these phony-ass gatekeepers, these fake intellectuals making these claims and degrading and insulting and desensitizing, really they're desensitizing the world to what happened to us by repeatedly using it for shit it has nothing to do with at all. Our story is our birthright. Our story is our claim. They should not be able to dilute that claim and use it at their own whim to make arguments for other group of people that weren't even here in this country when we went through the issues. That makes sense? I think I got one more story, then we're out. Let's check this out, folks.
Detector. Next on deck with Tim Black.
This morning, a Chicago woman is demanding answers from a hospital she says discharged her while she was in labor. 38-year-old Mercedes Wells says she was having contractions 1 minute apart and knew the baby was coming, but a nurse sent her home.
I was in excruciating pain. She seen me in pain and agony, and I guess she still perceived me to not be in labor.
The family sharing this video of Wells being wheeled out of the hospital. She then gave birth 8 minutes later in her truck on the side of the highway, her husband delivering their baby himself.
It's totally God's grace. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I don't have any medical license, anything to deliver a baby.
Wells says she spent 6 hours at the hospital but never saw a doctor. She blames racial discrimination.
I was stripped of my dignity as a person because I was treated less than an animal.
Can we agree that a woman in active labor should not be sent away without first being seen by a doctor?
The CEO of Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital responding, saying, "The video and the comments it has generated are deeply troubling, and we understand the concern this has raised. The video is just one part of the information we are reviewing as part of a thorough investigation into this alleged incident." The good news? The couple says their baby daughter, Alina, is healthy and doing well. The Wells say they're not seeking compensation. Instead, they want accountability and changes in hospital policy.
Wow. Okay. The Wells family. Mercedes Wells. What happened to her should have never happened. It is despicable what took place here. This was in Indiana, by the way, guys. Wow. It sent this woman back. When I first saw the clip on YouTube, or I think it was some social media site, I didn't know what I was looking at. I just knew she looked like she was in pain, and there was a woman with their back to her, like typing. And she was like moaning and groaning in pain. It didn't make any sense what I was saying. Come to find out, she was in labor. They would not admit a woman in labor. She sat in that room for 6 hours. They would not admit her. I guess they thought she was making it up. Folks, there is America has a long history of not listening to black women who are in pain. America has a long history of that, and it persists to this day. This is not something that's a relic of a bygone era that we've gotten past. No, it still happens. It still happens. This is a complete travesty. What happened to this family? Can you imagine having to deliver your baby? How frightening that would be to try to deliver the baby. I mean, baby gonna do what baby gonna do. Baby trying to come out, baby gonna come out. Dad just had to play catcher. But just being in that situation, 8 minutes after they left, after they were not admitted into the hospital, she gives birth in the truck, in the car. The only thing I disagree with about this clip and about Mercedes Wells and her husband and my props to them and is never say you won't take money. Nah, never say you won't take. Never say no money. No, money. Nah, give Alina a good start by bankrupting the hell out of that hospital. They got insurance money. It ain't going to bankrupt the hospital. I'm sorry. It's not going to bankrupt the hospital. That's malpractice, man. They need to learn a fucking lesson. Miss Wells, do you actually believe that you're the only black woman, or only woman, but I'm going to say black woman, that they've ever turned away like this? Now, you're the only one that probably gave birth 8 minutes later, that it was able to get noticed on news. I bet you there are going to be other women that are going to come out, right, and they're going to say something happened to them. Because if you are that detached, that much disconnected from black women's pain, it ain't an isolated event. I don't think it's isolated. I believe very strongly there's going to be more people that are going to come out. They're going to say that they had similar experiences at that hospital, that this was not this is not Bigfoot. We didn't just see Bigfoot run down the street and stop at the local deli and pick up an Italian cold cut. Nah, this shit has been happening at that place before. This is how they get down. Maybe not all the time, but I believe it's not an isolated event because it's too horrific. I could not even watch your clip, the initial clip I saw of you being in pain and not be totally distraught. I was disturbed by the clip. To sit in the room and hear you in that much pain and not be like, a doctor. They didn't even let her see a doctor. They didn't let her see a doctor. How could you not let a woman? All right. It's just beyond reason. As the woman said, as Mercedes, Mrs. Wells said, the lack of consideration, they did not see her as a human being. They dehumanized her. They would have treated a dog better. They would have treated a dog better. Nah, man. Take the money, use the money, maybe donate some of it, start a clinic, I don't know, and advocate for women's rights to, I don't know. But never say no, because there's a lot you can do with the money that'll help black women that this hospital is obviously not interested in doing. All right, guys, that's all I got on this one. Jesus Christ. Baby is beautiful. You got good genes, though, Wells family. Great genes, beautiful child. I'm so glad on the upside that the baby's healthy, and you did good, Dad. You did good, Dad, and Mom, you did all right too, Mom. But, yeah. Okay, guys, what are we doing? Are we okay? That's it for the Tim Black Show tonight. We'll be back on Friday to end the night, to end the week strong here on the most dangerous show in America. Who's here? Who was around? Got my people in the house. Dr. Cena says that. I agree with you, Doc. She says even if she donates it, that's right. Just take it from their ass and do something with it that helps people. It's another video going around about a woman in Mississippi, black woman in Mississippi. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Black Mamba. Thank you for your help. I appreciate y'all. That's it, y'all. I see you soon. Remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread. Miss Mickey Jones, don't let anybody take your cornbread, sister. Keep your cornbread. All right, guys. I'll see you soon, Friday. Everybody's got reasons for doing what they do. My reasons are simple. Where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? Oh, there they go.